And welcome back to another devotion. I am Pastor Roy Carlin here at Woodlawn Christian Church in Lake City, Iowa, and this devotion is for Thursday, October 23rd of 2025. We are in the book of Acts, and today we're going to wrap up chapter 25. We're going to be talking about verses 23 to 27. Today, Paul is going to appear before King Agrippa and Bernice. Remember, they are descendants of King Herod the Great. And they are also brother and sister, but they have kind of a not right relationship. We talked about that on Tuesday. I'm not going to reiterate that today. If you want to learn about that, you're going to have to go back and listen to the session from Tuesday, October 21st. Okay? But at any rate, he is going to appear before them, and Festus is trying to figure out what he's supposed to be sending Paul on to Rome. But what am I going to tell him is the charge? I don't know what's going on here. He doesn't understand what is going on. And rightly so, really. So we're going to jump into the beginning of this appearance before Agrippa and Bernice for Paul. It's going to go on for the next few days, the next few of our sessions together. So this is going to be kind of one of those to be continued versions, shall we say. So with that, let's jump into the verses 23 to 27 in the 25th chapter of Acts. So on the morrow, Agrippa and Bernice came with great pomp, and they entered the audience hall with the military tribunes and the prominent men of the city. Then by command of Festus, Paul was brought in. And Festus said, King Agrippa and all who are present with us, you see this man about whom the whole Jewish people petitioned me, both at Jerusalem and here, shouting that he ought not to live any longer. But I found that he had done nothing deserving death, and as he himself appealed to the emperor, I decided to send him. But I have nothing definite to write to my lord about him. Therefore I have brought him before you, and especially before you, King Agrippa, that after we have examined him, I may have something to write. For it seems to me unreasonable in sending a prisoner not to indicate the charges against him. That would seem like an understatement. Here's this guy. There's no charges against him, but, I'm going to send him to you. Try him. Try him for what? Well, I don't know, but, put him on trial. So seems kind of self-evident, doesn't it? You need to have a charge against him. But again, Festus just doesn't see it. What they had talked to him, accused him of earlier, to him seemed like a bunch of nonsense. And, well, quite rightly, perhaps it was. Certainly was nothing. There's nothing against Paul that is worthy of the death sentence, and that is what Festus is really wrestling with, if nothing else. But at any rate, Agrippa and Bernice are there. They come in with great pomp. They're all about the show. Bernice was kind of climbed the social ladder, as we mentioned last time on Tuesday. She'd been married 3 times and kind of worked her way up the social ladder even further, even though she's a descendant, again, of King Herod. So she does have royal blood, if you will. But at any rate, so Paul has been brought in here. Don't really know what to charge him with, and he's hoping that Agrippa and Bernice, which they are Jewish, as we mentioned before, because they are descendant of King Herod, they are Jewish, so perhaps they can figure out what's going on. One thing in here, though, that Festus is, he's using a little bit of hyperbole, if you will. He's saying that the whole Jewish people petitioned him. Well, not everybody petitioned him, for pity's sakes. That's sometimes that just gets a little over the top there. But at any rate, it's the priests and the Jewish officials that have petitioned him. It's not the people, not at all. We got to always have to remember that the Jewish people were not involved in anything to do with the persecution of Paul or the crucifixion of Jesus. That was all on the priests and the leaders trying to appease the Romans. Quite honestly, in both cases, they're trying to settle down the dissent, because the Romans don't want the Pax Romana to come in. But at any rate, I digress. Here we have this unreasonable charge. He says unreasonable to send a prisoner. Well, the whole thing is unreasonable. We get caught in situations where people are doing things to us that make no sense, just like here. Make no sense. But we know that in this case, this unreasonableness that's going on, God has a plan to use what is going on here to further the kingdom. In fact, we're going to see that in the next few days, that he's going to use this whole situation to witness more so to Agrippa and Bernice, if you will. He's also witnessing to Festus, and he's witnessed already to Felix. All right. At any rate, God can use those situations. We find ourselves in situations that make no sense, things that are difficult. Not that God put us there. I don't think God put Paul there necessarily, but God saw the direction it was going and said, I can use this to further the kingdom. Remember, if they let Paul go, as a dead man. There's still these guys that have sworn to kill him. And so God is going to send him on to Rome to use him to witness to the rulers. And again, we're going to see this in the next few days. God's already using Paul, and we have seen it. He's already witnessing, as I said. So when we're in the middle of these kind of things, and hopefully we're never in the middle of where we're facing a capital charge for no reason at all, like Paul is, but we can too have to be looking for that opportunity, that where that window is that God's going to show us, that we can use this to speak his word to somebody that may not be a believer at all. And that is an important thing for us to remember. No matter what happens to us, if we stay on the right side of God, it can all be done and all be used, I should say, to further God's kingdom. All to the grace and the glory of God. All things should be that way. We just have to remember that. We just have to keep our eyes open, and our eyes and ears open, I should say. Can't talk today. Not that I ever can. With that, I'm going to let you go for today. Trying to keep this one a little bit short and sweet. Have a very blessed day. Remember to be a blessing to someone today. If you enjoy these, please like and subscribe. Most importantly, they'll come back again. All right? Be a blessing to someone today. Remember, God loves you. We'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.